In this video, we will learn about comparative relational thinking. So at first, this may seem a little difficult, but after you get the hang of it, it is a great way to be able to figure out equations mentally and learn how comparing numbers could help you solve different types of equations. First, we're going to learn about addition. So back in kindergarten and first grade, you learned about how there are many different ways to make a 10. So you learn that 8 plus 2 equals 10 and 7 plus 3 equals 10. We're now going to see why these two equations both equal 10 and how we could use comparative relational thinking to know that these two equations are equal and they are balanced. So I see an 8 here and a 7 here. If I want to know the relationship between 8 and 7, I know that 7 is 1 less than 8. So I'm going to say 8 minus 1 equals 7. Next, when I compare the numbers 2 and 3, I see that the number 3 is 1 larger than the number 2. So I'm going to say that's plus 1 equals 3. For addition, when I subtract on one side and add the same number on the other side, I know that these equations are balanced because I get the same equation below. So I would say, yes, this equation is true because 8 minus 1 will give me 7, 2 plus 1 will give me 3. Now let's move on to something a little bit different from that. We're going to use that same thinking to find a missing variable. A variable is when we use numbers in math to represent a number that we do not know yet, or it's called solving for the unknown. So I'm going to use the letter n right now. That's a very frequent variable that you might see in math. So this equation says 6 plus 4 equals 5 plus n. I'm trying to solve for this letter n. So exactly what I did before, I'm going to compare the numbers. 6 compared to 5 is 1 more. So if I say 6 minus 1 will give me 5, then I have to do the opposite. So when we add, we have to remember opposite. So I have to do the opposite of what I did on this side to this one. So if I subtracted 1 here, I need to add 1 to this side. So 4 plus 1 gives me 5. Now I could solve to make sure I'm right, just for checking over. So I'm saying n equals 5. So if I plug my numbers in, 6 plus 4 equals 5 plus 5. 6 plus 4 equals 10. 5 plus 5 equals 10. This equation is true as well. I made it true because I made that variable true. Next, we're going to move on to subtraction. Subtraction is a little bit different. In subtraction, I'm going to do the same thing to both sides. So addition is opposite, subtraction is the same. So I'm going to say 5 minus 1 equals 6 minus 2. I'm going to compare the 5 and the 6. So 5 plus 1 will give me 6. And 1 plus 1 will give me 2. So now I have the same equation. 6 minus 2 equals 6 minus 2. For subtraction, like I said, we have to do the same things to both of the numbers for it to be equal to the side. So if I add 1 here, I have to add 1 here. So let's move on to the variable 1 for subtraction now. 8 minus 3 equals 6 minus n. 8 compared to 6, I have to subtract 2 to get to it, which will give me a 6. So that means I have to subtract 2 from this 3 as well, which would be 1. So let's check to see if 6 minus 1, if n equals 1. So I said 8 minus 3 is equal to 6 minus 1. 8 minus 3 is 5. 6 minus 1 is 5. That is true as well.